What's going on, guys? Alex here with 814 EDC, and today I'm ready to do my full review on my Spyderco Delica 4 Wharncliffe, specifically rocking some of these beautiful Mod 2 scales from Lynch Northwest. I've had this in for probably between 2 or 3 months now. I've carried it a bunch of times. I really enjoy this knife. It's very simplistic and it's not, super fidgetable. It's, kind of one of those knives in my collection that isn't, I'm not going to pull it out and fidget with it a ton, but when I carry it, I just there's just something about it that keeps drawing me to it. So I'm finally ready to do my full review on it. This is the second Delica I've had in the collection. I had a Delica 4, well, they're all Delica 4 technically, the Car Arms edition, which is like a little 2.5 Wharncliffe style blade that they did in collaboration with Car Arms. I had that back before I had a channel, so I never did a full review on that. So this is my, first technical full review on a Delica, but I've had a Delica before, carried a Delica before, and I just, I bought this when the K390 versions were on sale for, I believe it was like $79.99, which they've done, a few times since then. But I figured that it was one of the ones that was, I believe, being discontinued. So I figured I might as well pick one up now. I had my eye on it for the longest time, and I just finally pulled the trigger on it. And I think for, obviously you don't get these scales, but you get some blue ones that are specific to the K390 series of Spyderco. I think that's a fantastic price for, $80. Obviously these scales are more than that, so this is more of like, $180, $200 knife now. But I think these scales are absolutely worth it. We're going to do, obviously did the full review with these scales on it, but I think these scales are so worth it. I guess jumping right into materials. These are obviously rocking some, very nice titanium scales. They are the Mod 2 scales from Lynch Northwest. I will leave a link to the product listing down below. When I bought these, the blue ones were the only ones in stock, and there was one other one. I don't know if they were bronze or something along those lines were in stock. Since then, I don't know. I haven't checked the website for quite a while, so I don't know if they're coming, if they've come back in stock before. But I'll still leave a link in the description down below for you guys that are interested in checking them out. You get titanium scales. You get a loop over style deep carry Lynch clip, which is specific to the Delica scales, which is really nice. So it's something you can't just go buy on their website, and I really like that a lot. It's very deep carry. Nice lanyard hole back here. You have some speed holes. And with these scales, you get a choil, which with the original Delica, with the FRN scales, you don't get a choil, which is really nice. And I think the choil, especially with this Wharncliffe blade, just having such a straight edge and such a piercing tip, the choil really, goes a long way with making this knife that much better. But these scales are really nice. They have sort of a battle wash finish to them. The light will pick up on it. They're a little bit, kind of worn here and there, kind of, spotty, which I like. I really, the finish is done very nicely on them. They're very high quality, and I would expect nothing less out of Lynch Northwest. I'm a huge fan of Lynch Northwest, and I, always probably will be. But speed holes is nice. Of course, you have the back spring right there. Like I said, you do get like a 50-50 choil kind of. So if you guys are interested in these, I definitely recommend it. To me, these scales just take the Delica and make it feel like such a premium cutting tool. I have no qualms against FRN scales or anything like that. I've had plenty of knives with FRN scales, and I'll probably, continue to buy knives with FRN scales. But, they're not the nicest in the world, and they make the knife feel a little bit cheap. But when you take these and throw them on there, and again, I think these were $115 or $120. So they're definitely not cheap scales, but in my opinion, they're worth it because you're paying for the scales and you're paying for a clip, which the clip itself is, Lynch Northwest clips are anywhere from $20 to $30. So you're getting that on top of, scales. So you technically think of the scales as $90-ish, which is, very adequate for 2 custom titanium scales, but very nice and comfortable, nice finish. Of course, you have a Wharncliffe style blade. I believe it's just under 3 inches. Nice, beautiful Seki City edge on there. I haven't cut a ton with this since I've carried it, but I've done enough cutting with my typical EDC use with it. It comes with a great edge. I would like to get maybe a polished edge on here at some point. The one sort of downgrade for me with K390 is that it has a high, not that it has a high patina level, but you get surface rust a lot. I don't know if my phone will pick up on it, but around the hole, because that's how you obviously open the knife, I am prone to getting some surface rust, just kind of around the hole. It's real small and spotty. It might not pick it up just due to the reflections of the blade, but that's a little annoying because I want to keep this nice knife. I want to keep this knife nice, and I want to, kind of use it as like kind of a going out piece, like a date night piece. Just because just to me that kind of screams it, like it's kind of elegant a little bit. And it's not the patina. I was actually kind of excited to get a patina because I do have obviously my Pair 3 is in K390, so I have the Duo, and I've had the same issue with that, but I do like the way that the K390 patina. So eventually over use, it'll get a nice kind of basically a patina on it. But I just wanted to kind of highlight the surface rust. But again, I can just use a magic eraser or wipe it off, and it doesn't really bother me that much because it's not like that noticeable, because I do keep it wiped down with KPL Knife Shield, and it does a pretty good job of keeping most rust off of there. But yeah, so that's all for materials. It's a lockback, obviously, so it's a pretty simple knife design. Nothing too extreme or anything like that. So next we're going to talk about action. Now, of course, like I just said, it's a lockback, so you're not going to have, like a fantastic detent. You can, I have it tuned to where you can thumb flick it. It's pretty Loctite. There might be a little bit of wiggle if you really, torque down hard on it, but for the most part, it is nice and locked up. So of course you can thumb flick it. You can middle finger flick it, but sometimes you have to get a good flick. And then of course you can slow roll it, which is what I typically do. You just, nice backlocks make for, especially Spyderco backlocks with that big hole in the blade, just make for such a good slow roll knife. And I'm not typically a slow roll guy, but sometimes it just feels right. That kind of just nice, smooth, open. You can hear the nice snap of it. And then for to close, you can just kind of do that, drop it down, or you can take your finger, do that, drop it down, or you can do, you can do two hand closes, but who does that with, if you're a knife guy, you're pretty much doing probably this, kind of, dropping it down, bang, dropping it down, bang. And to me that, it's not as fidgety as a lot of my other knives, but there's also kind of some satisfaction with doing it this way. So I definitely can't, complain at all. I do find myself, when I carry it especially, I fidget with it, I do, enjoy it a lot of the time. So yeah, action is, if you've handled a backlock knife before, you kind of know what you're going to get. It's nothing crazy, nothing too exciting, but it has its own kind of quirks to it, which I really enjoy. Next up, we're going to talk about ergos. And like I stated earlier, these scales make this knife so much better in the ergo department because you get that 50-50 choil. When you buy a Delica in, whether it's Wharncliffe or, no matter what, when you buy a Delica model with the scales, you are not able to use the, this area up here. But with the Mod 2 scales, you are. Now that makes such a big difference, but choked back, I can still get all four fingers on here very comfortably. The pot clip is, it sits a little bit proud of the knife, but, can I feel it? Yes, but it's not really causing much of a hot spot at all. No issues whatsoever, in my opinion, with the pot clip. And then the real joy is when you choke up, you have this nice little hump here for your middle finger. Your two fingers follow suit. Your thumb lands right here on the jimping ramp, and then your pointer finger wraps right around, and you get a really good purchase on here. You're even farther off the sort of edge of the clip, so that makes even less of a hot spot. Jimping on the top, you're able to do some piercing if you have to do some push cuts through it. Very, very comfortable. The titanium is nicely milled, nicely rounded, nicely contoured. No issues with with that whatsoever. Excuse me. Pinch grip is really nice. So thumb and middle finger with my pointer finger up top here. If you have to be ripping through Amazon packages, tape. Wharncliffe is just such a utilitarian, such a usable blade shape with just that straight edge, that nice piercing tip right there. You just basically drop down in and just rip through packages, rip through cardboard. Makes for a very good, if you have to do, take down some boxes, it's very good. You can do a, kind of put your pinky right in there if you have to do some slicing. Wharncliffe makes for a very good self-defense knife too, because you have, again, such a nice, um, reinforced tip that has some, great edge on it to slice through if you have to defend yourself. Do some 7-Eleven gas station knife fights with Kevin over some Slurpees. But all in all, for cutting ability, for ergonomics, this is just really kind of in that sweet spot of it hits everything for me. When you have such a usable blade shape with such a good, nice tip for everything that I really use it for, combine that with a comfortable and easy to grip, I guess, for lack of better terms. It just really is the best of both worlds, in my opinion. And I think it's just very comfortable, very, again, no frills, work knife related. But again, when I carry this knife, it just, it just makes it feel kind of excited, like I'm, kind of grabbing like a nice collector's piece. And why I am, it's part of my knife collection. So, but yeah, ergos are on point with this knife. The scales really take it up a notch, and adding that choil, allowing yourself to choke up and to do, be so much in control of what you're cutting around, just really, adds to the Delica for, really all EDC terms and in EDC tasks. So 10 out of 10 in my opinion. Definitely go buy these scales if you are wanting to upgrade your Delica ergos. So next up, we're going to talk about carry, and it has a Lynch Northwest clip on it, so you guys already know it carries very well. I really like the Lynch Northwest clip on here. Nice deep carry, goes pretty much almost deeper than the knife itself, but just very nice single clip screw. Has a good amount of retention on there. Drops down in. You have no sharp edges or anything over here, no jimping. So if you have to get on pass it for change, coins, chapstick, whatever it may be, you're at pretty much a zero risk of going down and pulling it up out, catching it on something and losing it out of your pocket. So it carries very well. It is only righty carry. You cannot carry this lefty, so apologies for the lefties, but sits in your pocket very well. It's not a very big knife, so it's nice, has a good silhouette to it. Just sits in there very, kind of tucked in against the edge of your pocket. Very lightweight. It doesn't have any internal milling, but you do have speed holes. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 holes on both scales. So that definitely takes a little bit of the weight out, which is very nice. And yeah, really, again, no complaints at all. To me, this is just such a good knife, all around knife. And I think everyone should have a Delica in their collection. I think the Delica is a very flagship, very kind of like historical based model from Spyderco. And everyone I think should have a backlock, at least one in their collection, whether it's a Delica, whether it's a Native 5 lightweight, which I've had before. Those are very good knives too. Probably, on par, probably Spyderco's best ergonomic knife. I've never handled a standard Native 5, but I've had a Native 5 lightweight, and I really enjoyed that knife. But like I said, everyone I think should have a Spyderco lockback in their collection. They're well made, especially the Seki City ones, the K390 ones. They also make these Wharncliffe ones in 20 CV, I believe. But yeah, so I guess that takes me to my final category of price point and what I recommend this knife. So taking this knife into consideration without the scales, I got this for $79.99. If these are still available at retailers across the web, River's Edge Cutlery, Blade HQ, DLT Trading, stuff like that. You guys know, just go out and search. You might be able to find some of these. If they're still on sale for $80, I think that's a fantastic deal. I still think $100 for these is good. I think these might even be a little bit more at full price, maybe $110, $120. I think that's still fine. Just all around, I think this is a very, very good knife, very utilitarian, great for EDC purposes, great for, if you want a really good solid work knife for specific, cutting tasks, cardboard, dropping down in and ripping through things. I don't think you can, ask for, you're really anything better than this knife. I think it's just fantastic. I can recommend it every day and twice on Sunday, but I really, highly, highly suggest this, Mod 2 scale kit for the Delica. I think Lynch Northwest did a fantastic thing by coming out with these. Hopefully they're still in stock. Like I said, I'll leave a link down below if you guys are interested, but these really just make the knife go from, sort of a 6 on, a 5 or 6 on the premium scale to like a 9, with the deep carry clip and the titanium and the speed holes and the choil. It just makes it feel like such a premium knife, and I can't recommend them enough. I'm very, very happy with my purchase of these. I was on the fence for a little while about them, and then I got them, and I love them. So can absolutely recommend this knife. Definitely go buy some Lynch Northwest Mod 2 scales if you guys are interested. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up now. So I hope you guys were able to get a good rendition of my thoughts and opinions on the Spyderco Delica 4 in K390, specifically the Wharncliffe version with, again, Mod 2 scales from Lynch Northwest. Such a good knife, such a, just, again, I keep saying this, but no frills all around, just EDC kind of workhorse. And these scales just make it feel like a premium EDC workhorse. So, but I'm going to wrap this up now, like I said. So thank you guys again so much for watching. Leave a comment down below. What are you guys' thoughts on the Delica series as a general? And, you know, if you guys have a Delica, do you have these scales? Are you considering these scales? I would love to hear what you guys have to say. You know, I'm hoping some of you guys do, because I want to hear what your thoughts on these scales are, because I love them. So, but again, for the third time, I'm going to let you guys go. So thank you guys again so much for watching. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you guys. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your morning, evening, day, night, whenever you're watching this. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.